Welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial on polymorphic files. So basically I'm going to go over a few minutes to explain it, maybe even less. A polymorphic file is a file with multiple intentions, and in the code verse, is basically a file that can be ran by multiple things such as Node.js, Python, Bash, like Python and JavaScript mixed into one file that's compatible with both compilers. So I could run something like node file, and it would give an output. And then I could do Python and the same file, and it would give me the exact same thing, or maybe even something different. So, for the meanwhile, normally these are hard-coded in, if you ever see a polyglot, but for now I'm not going to hard-code them in. I'm going to make a Python file that is going to execute, and a JavaScript file that is going to execute. So these are where the code's actually at. First of all, if I don't add any code to the main Python file, it's going to return an error, the main Python file I meant. So we're just going to have it print hello world /n by Python. And that's pretty much all. And then Python should learn a few things from JavaScript, like being able to have nothing inside of it without freaking out. But I'm actually going to write some things in here too. Hello world /n by Node.js. So, that handles that. Now we're going to make our polyglot. Let me think of the name. Hello world.jpy for JavaScript and Python. First of all, we're going to have one. Now, this is what it's going to look like in Python after being examined. Now, in JavaScript and Python, this will both return 1, because in Python, it's like a divide or a remainder or something. Well, it can't be a remainder. Well, basically, this will return 1. Now, in JavaScript, the reason it returns 1 is because this is a comment, so it just sees one space, which is one strip, turns out to just be a singular 1. So, we can take abuse of lambda function, which will always be invalid, but it'll still execute them, but that will cause an error, so or1 steps in to switch it back to this exact same expression no matter what. Add this to the end. Now it's time to add our code right here. Eval. Open a file. Read that file. That file will be the main.python file that we made. The main Python file. We're going to open this in read mode, obviously. And boom. So, now it's time for JavaScript support. Now, since this function is just built like this, and it doesn't have a set brackets like this that will actually activate it, it'll return a bunch of hex crap in Python. But in JavaScript, it'll skip over lambda, and it'll evaluate this. Or evaluate, I meant. Which is to do this, eval require fs dot read a file synchronously, also known as .read file sync, and we're going to read it in UTF-8. There you go. And the file we're going to be reading is script.js, and that's going to set up our actual polyglot. And in just 4 minutes, we've actually got this running. So Python hello world.jpy. So that will give us 1 by Python, and when we do it with Node, boom, we'll get Node.js. And since I didn't hard-code it in from the beginning, and I don't want to go through Termux's weird way that they do copy and paste, I'm going to go switch over to the A-code editor. Very good, and I actually recommend using it. So here we are right here in our A-code editor. It might take a while to load, so I'm just going to let this load in the meanwhile. Alright, it's loading the language, I think. I don't know exactly if that means coding or not. Alright, let me open my side panel. So here's the folder. I actually preset this up. We're going to open all 3 files, so I can just do a bit of copy and pasting. So we're going to take this. We're going to replace this entire eval statement with this. Boom! That hard codes in our JavaScript. This file is no longer needed, so we can throw it out the back window. And then we're going to throw away our main Python file, because we can now throw it out the window now that we have our content copied. Even if I didn't have it copied, I could easily retype it, but this is just kind of faster. So replace this entire evaluation with this. Boom. This will explain the basics of how you can use polyglots. There's kind of no use for it. And there are a few polyglots that I don't think will ever touch the earth, like Python and Bash, JavaScript and TypeScript. Well, actually, that's probably already there. JavaScript, TypeScript, and Go. Yeah, that's going to be a hard one. But yeah, as you can see, entirely works. This is just a quick tutorial. Nothing too fancy. Easy to learn from. I actually made a few mistakes and it took me 3 different tries to get this successfully, because apparently Python has a few things to learn, as I've already stated. Because when I read that file, it was returning an error since the file had no content in it. And apparently I had to place the word pass into it to fix it, or some code. But yeah, that's all I gotta show you, and bye.